Yeah. Okay, Ashley, you're out.
It's June 21st, and just 2 weeks after arriving in Hawaii from Mexico, Dream of Clyde is setting off once again, this time bound far to the north towards the tiny outpost of Elfin Cove, Alaska. For this 2,700-mile crossing, my friend Brian has joined me aboard, trading warm Mexican anchorages for the long, open Pacific. Unlike the passage from Mexico, which features steady trade wind sailing, the weather between Hawaii and Alaska is dominated by frontal systems, and as such is notoriously unpredictable. We expected a few days of steady, warm trade wind sailing to carry us north, but beyond that, it was anyone's guess. What follows is a raw and honest account of our 24-day voyage, from the tropical sun of Hawaii to the cold glacial waters of Alaska, aboard a 33-foot sailboat built in the late 1970s. So sit back, hold on, and come with us for the long ride north.
So we just set up the hydrovane and a couple dolphins showed up. That's a really nice way to leave Honolulu and have the sunset. Beautiful night, temperatures are great. It's good so far, eh?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Love it.
Morning time, and I've not been feeling very good overnight. Been struggling with this cold, and I don't know, maybe it was like we ate fries and I had a beer before we left. It might have been a bad idea, but yeah, I threw up a few times last night, which is unusual for me. Feeling okay now. I'm really thirsty. I can feel it in my mouth, so I'm gonna go drink some water and lay down. And got Brian up here taking a watch right now. He laid down for a while and maybe got a bit of sleep. It's pretty huffy right now. We just got the jib out, that's it. And we're bombing along, and we're making a bit of westerly progress, which we're not trying to do. We just want to go north or northeast, about giving these seas and the wind. That's what we got to do right now. It's supposed to ease off in the next few hours a bit.
Like the start of the crossing from Mexico, strong winds forced us off our ideal course almost immediately. It was a punchy, full-on beginning, but it wasn't unexpected. Rather than fight it, we leaned into it. The boat felt alive beneath us, charging ahead at impressive speeds as we surfed across rolling ocean swell. It was a robust start, wet, loud, and demanding, but fast, and for now, fast was good.
I'm working really hard to keep everything in stride. Like, it feels kind of miserable right now, and I don't have much sleep, and yeah, I just feel really tired and worn out already. Only 24 hours in, which is, kind of concerning feeling, but got some lighter wind ahead of us in the coming days, so that'll be a good time to recharge, and just gradually wind coming down as well. And beyond all that, I'm just out sailing, doing a leisure recreational activity, bringing my boat back to Canada after a couple wonderful winters in Mexico and all this journeying. So I gotta remember that fact, and that sometimes adventure includes some rough times. It's huffing up a little bit, but it's supposed to peak in the coming hours and then subside through the night a little bit into the mid-teens, which will be really nice. So hopefully it sticks around like that for a while. More or less dodged a little rain cell, but we're getting to see an awesome rainbow right now. And a little bit of a puff in the wind. Pretty nice morning out here, though. Sail, sailing. All right, we're about to head into night number 3. Winds are supposed to subside overnight and gradually over the next few days get lower and lower and lower. But I'm gonna tuck in here before I get wet. Anything to say, Bri?
Yeah, so far so good. Today has definitely shown an improvement in eating, sleeping, spirits, just getting used to the swell. It's crazy how your body will accommodate and adapt itself, but yeah, definitely better today, and it should keep getting better and better from here on out, so I'm looking forward to that.
last night was pretty frustrating. There were some rain showers, and then really like the winds were varying a whole bunch. So for a time, I put the mainsail back up with the single reef on after it got almost completely calm, and then it was picking back up and dropping and picking back up, and the hydrovane was kind of steering us a bit funny because it needs to be adjusted when the winds pick up a bunch and the parent wind changes, so you have to adjust it. And so that happened a bunch of times. Eventually just dropped the main, and in doing so got splashed and totally soaked. So that was a little maddening, but at around 5 in the morning I went down and had probably like 5 hours of sleep, which was great. Brian did a nice long watch, and he's down having a good sleep now too. So we've been just taking turns doing like 5 or 6 hour watches. It's working quite well. But yeah, no complaints. Sunny still, good solar, eating better now. I had a bagel and a bunch of fruit for breakfast when I got up at around 11. And sleeping good down below, so I'm pretty happy with that.
We were now about 400 miles north of the Hawaiian Islands. It was still very much tropical, steady trade winds, warm air, deep blue water, but because our route was to the northeast, we were still sailing high into the wind. The result was a lively, uncomfortable motion that made life aboard pretty rowdy. It doesn't take long after leaving Hawaii for the option of turning back to disappear, and we had long since crossed that line. The first few days of any ocean passage are often the hardest. Your body adjusts, your mind catches up, and Brian and I were both feeling it. I was also fighting off a bad cold that may have actually been pneumonia, which made everything feel much more difficult. Still, we had one advantage: good weather data. With internet connectivity aboard, we knew that calmer conditions were only a few days ahead. So we held on to that, the thought of easier sailing across warm tropical water as the boat charged north. Late on the 4th day, a small pod of dolphins appeared off the bow. Out here, hundreds of miles from land, their presence can feel a little strange, but it's always deeply reassuring. They wove effortlessly through the swell, riding our bow wave, lifting the mood aboard in a way only dolphins can.
Things have eased off overnight. Both of us had rest. I was having little cat naps, and Brian just slept through the whole night, which is great. We've decided to stick with our 6 on, 6 off proximate watches, which has been really good because it allows us to get good long sleeps. But yeah, I'm going to go lay down now and carry on snoozing. And Brian's taking over with this nice sunrise to watch. So with things in the boat a little steadier now, have myself a salad, if you will. People laugh at me when I eat a salad like this, but why not? A little sudden rain squall here, brought with some wind and the rainbow, just as I was starting to cook. Classic. Looks like it's gonna bugger off quickly here. Just a little thing to remind us that it was good that we left the reef in. It's happy there. Whoa, I just had a really great sleep. I think I was sleeping from like 5 or 6 until now, almost 10. Pretty incredible. That's the best sleep I've had on this boat for a long time, even at shore. And Brian's been on the watch, and we just unrolled the last little scrap of Genoa that we had rolled in. It slowed down, but the sea state's really nice, and we've been cruising along. We're around 5 knots, but this might boost us. Yeah, this is really nice. Nice to have a bit of an easier day here. We're about to crack the 800 mile mark already, and it's just been steady going. We're pretty much close haul right now, but the wind's gotten a bit lighter, so it works really well. It keeps the sails full, motion's nice on the boat. And we have another day of what should be pretty steady sailing before we run into the light stuff. So I think in about 24 hours time, we're going to run into the light wind, where there's this kind of partly broken down high pressure, and then like another high pressure coming our way, which is weird. You don't see that too often around here, but they're going to kind of collide and create this kind of what could be some pretty strong wind for a brief period for us on the other side of this low wind area. So we'll see what happens. We're going to turn the internet on soon and see what the models say, because they've been changing a lot, and this is a big moment for us on this trip, crossing this area, because it's going to determine if we get stuck in the light winds for a couple of days or not. And I don't think we're going to, because it looks like that high is going to actually move across us, and we'll get on the other side of it and deal with what we deal with. But yeah, not much to report. Ocean sailing, just kind of going. It's another lovely evening on Dream of Clyde. There's a few puffy clouds around, but again, like yesterday, there's this kind of big hole we're in, which is great. But there are some clouds that a little suspect. This one has a bit of an anvil top to it, so maybe we'll end up getting some rain, and maybe I don't think we'll get thunder and lightning, but maybe a bit more wind. We'll see. It's been a nice day. Lots of water, bits of garbage, not much to report. It's offshore sailing, but should have some cool footage coming up later in the episode with this heavier weather coming. Well, about 1,000 miles from land in any one direction, we are now experiencing our first kind of relatively calm stuff. Still a pretty good swell rolling through that hopefully will decline, because we got about 24 hours of this stuff before the wind starts to gradually pick back up and then crank up into the 20s. Brian was just remarking on the lack of wildlife around here, and not 3 or 4 minutes later, there's a pod of dolphins, so we'll see if they come and see us. They're zooming around. I think they're fishing right now. We're also seeing a lot of trash. I mean, it's not thick, it's not like we could walk on it, but we're seeing buckets and little like plastic crates and stuff every few minutes, really, and then little bits of garbage continually. Little wee bits of plastic. Incredible blue water, the sun shining in it. And I'm gonna go for a swim, because it's well hot out, and why not? We're going so slow. Yoo! Bye, Clyde. Feels like we're going slow, but once you're in the water, it's like, ooh, that boat's going quick. All right, let's see what the water looks like underneath. I convinced Brian to go for a swim in the garbage too. 1,000 miles from land, woo! 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 Nice.
It takes a second to reorient you when you come up, like, okay, where am I? Where's the boat?
There's a boat beside
Get the line!
you.
Get the line!
Yeah. It's a lovely evening on the North Pacific, and we're pretty close to the North Pacific high right now, and that's why we have this light winds with just the last of the easterlies. It's going to swap to west for us this evening, and it looks like it should increase a little bit, which would be great, because as you can see, our sails are a little floppy despite the pole helping hold them out, but we've been making about 3 knots, so nothing wrong with that. We had a ship pass within about 20 miles of us that we saw on AIS, but we didn't actually see it physically. That was pretty remarkable. Only 20 miles away, you don't see this 270 meter oil tanker. On one of my little deck inspections, I noticed something that's happened before. Anyone that has these plates right, like we have right here, the screws tend to start to back out a little bit when you're sailing for thousands of miles. Once I'm anchored again or at a dock, I'm going to put some thread lock. It's too risky to do it right now while we're moving. But yeah, keep an eye on that if you have this plate on your furler. Yeah, that's kind of the day.
I'm gonna revive our pasta from the other day, add some zucchini, more sauce to it, enjoy sunset and a meal, and have some sleeps. And then I'll swap out with Brian a bit later, and we'll probably end up taking the pole down, and we're gonna have to jibe once the westerlies turn around. So we'll see when that happens. We'll find out.
Yum. Cheesy pasta thanks to the little broiler in here.
A little bit of a different night. Had some lightning lurking for a lot of it. The lightning has been dissipating to the point where I haven't seen any flashes for a good 20 minutes now. At times it was flashing every 2 or 3 minutes or something, a couple flashes, and then nothing for 5, and then it'd be a couple flashes. So
All right. So go with the...
So this thunderstorm's getting uncomfortably close to us, and it just kind of woke up the last few minutes too. So we just dropped the pole, and I'm gonna just drop the main to be real cautious here before this thing rolls up to us. And then after that, it's probably gonna be like mellow because there's not supposed to be much wind today. So I think these things are gonna blow through and we'll be okay. So we're just putting the brakes on, dropping the main because this thing might be drifting away from us. So we're just gonna stand by a few minutes and see that we'll be ready to do something quick if we need to, because thunderstorms can move fast and the winds can change really quickly. It's really dark up ahead there. Yeah. But we're starting to think that the frontal system that was supposed to move through like late tonight is early, because this kind of lines up with what was supposed to happen with it, southeasterlies, and then once this thunderstorms pass us, it should whip around to the north. So we'll find out here in a bit. In the meantime, we're just keeping the Genoa reefed and the main full. I might reef it soon because there's a thunderstorm I think is coming our way. So just preparing ourselves, eating a bit of food, and seeing how it goes. It was supposed to be mellow today. It's not mellow.
Okay.
Well, we just jibed, so we were starting to head southeast, and now we're heading northeast where we want to go, but we're definitely in this thunderstorm now, so it's kind of like, yeah, hopefully we just get through it real soon. Chances of being hit by thunder or by lightning are very low, but it's not a comfortable feeling, I'd say. We're getting a little bit of wind here now too. So far there hasn't been much of any wind, so we're just going to be ready to drop the main if it gets crazy. Oh, maybe it's here now. There we go. Okay. Okay. Good. All off. Bye-bye, Hawaii air. Well, it was bound to happen. I didn't think it'd be as dramatic as this with thunderstorms and heavy rain, but we are out of the tropical kind of vibes. Yesterday was a very different day with us swimming, and it was super hot, and now it's just like, feels like we're back home. It's gonna be a bit of a stretch the next little bit here, but looking forward to things chilling out. Some more thunder. The rain has stopped for now, and the wind has filled back in. Brian's being a real trooper back here, working the hydrovane and getting a nice pace and course for us. It's wet. Yeah. For now, it's over, and that feels really good. It definitely felt vulnerable being out here with that much thunder lightning. I've never experienced that before anywhere on the water. Actually, I've experienced a couple claps of thunder. That's about it, but not continuous like that, where we're definitely the tallest thing for many, many miles. There's no ships around, so kind of scary, but here we are. Yeah, so Brian's on watch now. I'm gonna go lay down and try and get some sleep. I didn't get much sleep last night at all, so that's what's going on now. Those weird bubbly clouds are never a good sign. Might have another thunderstorm coming. Looking ahead, there's also a bunch of cumulus, so we're coming up to our high pressure pretty soon. We'll see what happens in the next little while. It has been a rough night of close-hauled sailing in the open ocean. A little lightning here and there. It seems to have buggered off. It's going to get bright out soon, and I think the sun will be shining. So, whew, the spray.
Ready when you're ready.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, tacking. Here on watch this morning. Pretty rough overnight. Beating our way into not crazy strong, but whoa, strong enough. Pretty big seas and very uncomfortable. But a beautiful rainbow popped out this morning.
Offshore, not very fun. Well, we've just got Hove 2 to take a little breather and contemplate what we're going to do, because this wind's way too strong to be tacking into, or even just be trying to be close haul, or even like close reaching is a bit much. So we're just sort of sitting here and trying it out. It works pretty good. I haven't tried Hove 2 in actual Hove 2 conditions before, so it's good to see it working. But yeah, it's pretty wily. After about a 3.5 hour break being Hove 2, which was so nice, we are sailing again. I had about 3 hours of sleep during that period, and that was super, super helpful. I was feeling pretty exhausted, so really the motion on the boat was very nice, relatively speaking, when we went Hove 2. So yeah, offshore close hauled or near close hauled is something. Well, just like that, it's cozy and warmer in the cabin, and we like it that way, because up until now it had been way too hot, and now there's like condensation and everything. It's pretty rapid change. It's incredible. But this has been a challenging day for sure. I'm heating up some nice curry that we made back in Honolulu, and froze a whole bunch of, so that's really nice to have that in our back pocket for days like today. But tonight promises to be a lot more subdued, and then tomorrow looks really chill, so we'll be able to recharge, revive for about 48 hours before we flip to more westerlies and start heading straight towards Inside Passage in Alaska. We're nearing the end of daylight, and it's been a very nice day. The wind was a bit robust first thing, but it has come down to a really nice level. We're not getting a whole lot of spray anymore, and the seas are pretty gentle, and Hydrovane's doing all the work. I'm just switching off to Brian now for his watch. We've been doing this sort of 6 on, 6 off. We sort of shifted it recently, just as it kind of happened, to starting at 6 and going till 12, and we both do little chores at the end of our shifts before we go to nap town. But yeah, it's going pretty good. How you doing, Brian?
Doing good. Mellow sea state also equals better sleep.
Yes.
Because we've had plenty of time to sleep. The watch schedule's worked out great, but sometimes if the boat is moving enough, it's hard to sleep very long. But beautiful break in the clouds over here, and yeah.
And
good.
With the sea state now down, we can put the cushions back. Yeah.
Aside from 3 days in a gale off the Oregon coast, this was without question the most difficult stretch of sailing I'd ever endured. The day of thunderstorms was technically manageable. The seas weren't extreme, the wind wasn't outrageous, but stress doesn't always come with wave height. Lightning cracked across the sky and struck the ocean just miles from our 40-foot mast, a stark reminder of how small and exposed we really were. Then came 12 hours of near-gale winds dead on the nose. The pounding was relentless. Every wave slowed us as the bow slammed continuously. Our bodies ached, and as it turned out, so did the boat. When the calm finally arrived, it felt necessary. Our bodies needed it, and so did Dream of Clyde. That quiet day gave us a chance to rest, assess damage, and put together some critical jury rigging before pushing north once again.
It's early in the morning, and we were completely becalmed from about 3 a.m. until now. It's probably about 5. And so I just completely dropped sails and had to sleep. The old drifting anchorage. Yeah, the breeze starting to come up, so hopefully this picks up a little more for us. And then it looks like by later tonight it's going to be huffing pretty good for us, probably in the high teens and into the low 20s even. So looking forward to that. But yeah, nice to be underway again though. There we go, now we're bombing along at about 3 knots. And here comes the sunshine. It'll be a nice bright day today. It is a lovely morning. Got some cool salty hair here too. And the whole boat is just caked in salt. Heading up forward for the first time since a few days ago. And yeah, it's just like salt everywhere. Let's have a look at the jib sail here. Look at that. Whoa. Methinks we are getting some spray. Yeah, everything is looking pretty good on board though. Just looking around the boat, making sure there's nothing loose. And yeah, so that's about what's going on now. Okay, when I looked up at the rigging and was like, I'm gonna check the rig, I stopped talking because I saw a problem. Our inner stay, there's at least 2 wires that have frayed, and it looks like there's a third that's coming off. And so that is not great because we're halfway to go and we got some strong weather coming still. But yeah, we're gonna think about this here and probably make some phone calls, but oof, I don't like the feeling of this right now. Don't really know what to do at the moment, but we'll figure it out. All right, with the help from our friends from a group of sailors that sailed from Mexico to Hawaii and are carrying on, I got on the WhatsApp with them, and one of them had a rigger that he got me on the phone with immediately. And so his advice was to tension the backstay a whole bunch, which we've done. And then we're going to be putting a little backup line around the spreader and down on this side of the mast to act as a backup should this aft stay were to give way. But he says this is a common problem where people don't have their backstay tensioned enough. So we're really happy that the conditions are what they are right now, and that we have this pretty mellow stuff. It's going to still be wobbly getting up there, but I'm glad I didn't see this like yesterday when we were still hauling ass. Chances are the thing's fine. Obviously it's not good, but yeah, good we're dealing with this right now and not in the upcoming stronger weather. All right, I'm down the mast. I got this old running rigging tied right through the mast, which is fantastic. And nice sailing is resumed pretty much right when I came down here, so that's really great. And yeah, the rigging itself, like the inner core looks really good. It looks like it broke from fatigue against the swage fitting, the outer pieces. So 4 of them broke, and I think there was still another 2 or 3 left on the outside. And the inner ones looked fine as far as I can see. There's no obvious corrosion in the bits of wire that I was able to snip off. So here's a piece of the wire that's the bit that broke, and I can't see any corrosion. It looks just like good stainless steel to me. So I think it just got fatigued from banging around. When I first got this boat, I had the rigging way too loose, and it took me a while to smarten up and tension it up. So that maybe was another part of the fatigue that may have occurred. But nonetheless, there'll be a new rig on Sea Dream in the coming year or so once we get back and are going to be sailing more. Let's see about how tight we can get this sucker. Yep. The rigging is not. The trucker's hitch we were able to get pretty taut. It's definitely not as taut as the rigging, but we feel fairly satisfied with it being our backup. And it's really great we were able to get it through the mast. That's really nice. So that's what our setup looks here. Trucker's hitch, right through the mast. And now if this thing were to fail, there is something that's going to pick up some of the slack, and we'd be able to drop sails and figure out something else. So yeah, really feel very fortunate that we have this day today where it was pretty easy to go up the mast, and feels like summer again. Might go for a swim. Well, all the excitement of the day is wrapping up. We have the aft shroud backed up, splinted as it were. We're going to be easing into stronger wind gradually, but all in all, I feel confident in the existing wire that's still there. 4 strands broke, and what's inside looks okay still. We're going to sail even more gently than we would have in terms of reefing early and often. It was definitely an exciting day finding that problem up there and going aloft and everything, but it's the things you prepare yourself for by being resilient and having the confidence to fix stuff when you're out here, because you're on your own. If you didn't have the confidence to go up the mast or do whatever, you'd be screwed. When you're 1,400 miles, what would you do, right? You can't motor that far. We can motor for about half of that, but we're not going to do that. So we're going to carry on sailing into the night here. It promises to be a pretty good night for us as the sun slowly drops down and we got a wide open sky. And hopefully tomorrow's going to be sunny too. We'll see. But feeling really good. Having the showers is really great too. We both had showers. So yeah, that's life on board Sea Dream on day 11, about halfway point. Been another pretty good day of sailing. It's been fast since this morning, and it looks like it's going to continue throughout the night. So we're really happy about that. We're going exactly where we want to go, straight towards the inside passage to Elfin Cove. And yeah, a little rolly here. The seas are kind of quartering, but it's all good. It's nice low seas. They're only like meter and a half max. It's been a really chill day. The wind never really came up as forecast, but it's been nice. We've been cruising along at like 4.5, 5 knots most of the time. And there's a little bit of marine cloud that's moved in. You can definitely feel it in the air. You got kind of moist, cooled off. So we'll see if we end up with some fog in the morning. I think it's a possibility. Luckily, there's not many ships in the vicinity tonight. We might have one that'll pass well ahead of us, something like 40 miles in front of us. It's no big deal. But a couple more days, we're going to end up with a ton of ships, it looks like. So about 9 days left to Elfin Cove. I think we're both feeling pretty darn excited for that. Probably get an agreement back here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm excited for, did you say there's a place to eat there? Beer?
There's a pub there.
Yeah, excited about that.
Yeah.
And to be anchored and to just sleep in a nice quiet cove is going to be amazing.
Bit of a different afternoon than the morning. Morning was beautiful, sunny, but we've had fog most of the day now and a little bit of drizzle. But the wind, with the forecast to come up to gusting 26 tonight, we decided we're just gonna douse the main entirely. We also have upwards of 4 ships that we might encounter, so to have a little more maneuverability in case we have any communication issues with them will be a good thing. So that's the action plan. It's gonna slow us down a bit, but we're going kind of really fast right now, like 6.5 knots or something. And we're also not going up the ideal course, so this will be allow us to go a little bit further north, directly where we're wanting to go. So we'll be just happy with that. Better to play it safe than sorry and not have to deal with this in the middle of the night. There is some disagreement in the models. The GFS says silly stuff like 5 knots gusting 45. I don't really believe that that's going to happen, so I hope not. That would suck, but a European model is pretty steady, saying maxing 25, gusting 30 later in the week. But yeah, so that's the action plan now. We're gonna do that. Topping left. Yep. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Nice. Morning 15, I think now, and it's dank out. It's foggy. Luckily it hasn't been raining. It's just the drizzle that comes with the fog. And the wind last night never really came up as advertised. It was forecast to be 20, gusting 26. I don't think I saw anything over 22 or 3. I don't know. We did just roll over to having 999 miles left to go, so that's a nice big one. And we have about a week left to go now as well, so there's some positives, but we definitely have some kind of dank weather for the next few days to deal with. It's another foggy morning here on day 17. We're having some solar challenges. We're getting a bit of a luck right now where the sun is visible through the fog, and it's supposed to improve a little more through the day here. So we're optimistic we're going to get a nice little charge and get ourselves back up where we need to be. What happened is we've had cloudy days, but the freezer also ran overnight, which it tends to do sometimes. It's this cheap Amazon thing, and most time it's fine because we've been in sunny weather forever. But in this circumstance, it was not fine, and we found ourselves really low. So this is really great. We're getting about 10, 11 amps right now, and it should only get more over the next few hours as we approach solar noon. And the fog is supposed to clear a little bit, so that's great. We don't need much draw since we've turned the freezer off now. We've dumped everything in the cooler. That's going to be fine for us to get into Alaska without our food spoiling because we had enough ice in there. And we didn't have anything that really needed to be frozen anymore.
It sounded like a wave.
Jeez.
Yeah, keeps going.
So Brian just got startled by a whale. Is it a humpback? What do we got?
I don't know, it's black.
Black whale.
Black and large.
That surfaced not more than a boat length or two from us. Pretty remarkable. And we're just in and out of fog here, getting really good solar. Things are looking up here on Dream of Clyde. And our first whale of the trip. That's exciting. First whale since Mexico.
been a pretty ruckus day. The wind actually has come up more than was forecast, and we looked at the new forecast and it shows gusting 26, and I believe it. Just have a bit of jib out, and this boat's doing really good. Hydrovane's doing good. I've been dealing with some back pain. I triggered it somehow the other day and just triggered it again, so I've been rocking my hot water bottle there and been getting some Tylenol in me, and Brian's been great and taking a little extra times of watch at times, so powering through. But we just got 6 days left now, and then we're in there probably sooner, because the last 24 hours shows 2 knots, so I would think we might be inclined to do a little motoring at this point, the way I'm feeling right now, and just we've been out here so long and we're both feeling pretty tired. So it's cozy enough in the cabin, but I don't know about going outside.
It's day, I think, 18, and foggy stuff continues, but we're getting some fair solar. Last night the wind stayed up for most of the night and then kind of subsided a bit. Things are going pretty good. My back is in pretty intense pain, so I'm just trying to manage that. Brian's been pulling up some of the slack that I haven't been able to. So I'm just hobbling around the boat. Can still do my watches, keep an eye out for boats and stuff, but I need to take it real easy. Looking forward to getting land and just being able to chill.
The day after our little weather system we had roll through here. We were supposed to have pretty consistent winds once we got on the north side of it and kind of out of the worst of the wind. It was still supposed to be pretty consistent after that, but the wind has really died off, and so what we're left with is very lumpy seas. And because the wind was blowing from several different directions strongly overnight, there's different swell coming in from multiple different directions and very lumpy out here.
Day 19, I think, yeah. It is morning and things are mellowing out. Still pretty big swell left over from this system. System is still kind of active, but starting to dissipate a lot. So we got this, following swell. It's at times been really rolly on board, where there's a bit of cross swell as well coming in. But overall, it's just mostly astern. So we're about to tune into the weather and see what we should do, because there's a last forecast showed a little low to our port side, a little to our north, that we might want to just go a little south around to avoid ending up in some light weather. But all in all, it looks like we're about 3 days left to go, 3 full days of sailing. My back is feeling way better now after being in agony for a few days. It just randomly last night, I had this change where instead of it being really centered right around the lower back, it shot down my legs for a bit. It was really painful. I'm like, oh no, what's this now? And then I went and laid down. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling a little better. And then I stood up and I was like, oh, that it must have released or undone or something. But that was a really big moment, because now I'm feeling quite a bit better. I can move around the boat without wincing in pain like I have been for the last 3 or 4 days. So
Yeah, it's interesting. We've been on the same tack, almost the same sail configuration. The days just pass by and you lose track of how many days it's been. So looking back at the notes, I think it's been like 10 days a week. 10 days that we've been in the same sail configuration, and we, roll out some jib and take in some jib depending on the conditions and tweak our course a little bit. But yeah, you just kind of keep going and going and going, and the wind direction's kind of been similar, but we're getting very close. I'm very excited about that.
Definitely feels like Alaska now. It's chilly, it's a bit breezy, but we're bombing downwind, and this land is only 300 miles up ahead of me. I just saw some clouds. I was like, where are those mountains? Of course not yet, but soon. Feels great though, we be getting this close finally after all these miles. 6,000 miles almost it's gonna end up being from when I left Mexico, offshore sailing. I'm excited for getting to an anchorage. It's not the most comfy ride, but we are cruising along at a fair pace. And the sun's out. That's really nice. It's the first time it's really, truly out, I think, in like a week or more. It's been so foggy and then rainy at times, but home stretch looks dry. And yeah, I just got to get through some calm stuff coming up. Hopefully this swell will die down. It's still pretty substantial right now. It's like 3 in the morning now, Hawaii time, and the swell is still running big. Some fog moved in, and the wind's gotten lighter, so it's getting a little bit bouncy. But it's been a nice night overall. Nights are very, very short right now, like 4 hours. Hydrovane still seems to be steering, sort of. The wind just got lighter with this fog, though, it seems. Our surprise wind still continues. We actually ended up reefing the main because it came up that much, but now it's starting to back off a little bit and have a bit of waves. We have lots of waves. There's waves coming from kind of all directions right now, plus the wind chop from this most recent breeze. But this has all been a bonus. We expected to be going like 2 knots right now, or like almost nothing. And instead we've been going almost in the right direction at like 4 to 5 knots. There's Brian waving.
Trevor makes great oatmeal.
Yeah, look at that tasty
all
oatmeal.
gone. Clean Bowl Club.
This mostly sunny day of steady sailing felt like a gift after days of fog and challenging conditions. Just as welcome was leaving behind the trans-Pacific shipping lanes we've been traveling across through much of the middle of the trip. On our crossing from Mexico to Hawaii, once we were about 100 miles offshore, the ocean was completely void of ships and just an empty expanse of wilderness. Out here, it was different. Most days there were ships along our path. During our daily weather check, we also studied the Predict Wind vessel tracker, which displays AIS reporting ships across the world's oceans. It gave us a sense of how busy the next 24 hours might be. Once a vessel came within 30 or 40 miles of our location, we'd pick it up on our own AIS. In total, we logged 33 ships on it. We saw 8 with our own eyes, and several more pass within 5 or 10 miles. 3 required radio calls to alter course and give us room. The traffic added a layer of stress, especially in the fog. but it was also reassuring. Out here, you're rarely more than a day from help if you ever truly need it. After an unexpectedly strong 24-hour run, we sailed straight into the center of an unavoidable high-pressure system, and the wind completely shut off. We were completely becalmed. We could have drifted for 2 or 3 days waiting for the breeze, but with only 170 miles left to Alaska, the decision was easy. After 22 days without touching the engine, we finally turned the key. But if you have to motor, it might as well be across a mere flat sea, the boat gliding northeast under a sky as calm as the water beneath us.
Welcome to Motorfest 2025! It looks like we're going to be ending this Motorfest after 14 hours, which is insane for this boat.
Anyways, that's your intro to that part of the episode. We've been motoring for, I think 14 hours or something, maybe 15, so way more than I ever do. I think that beats by 10 hours. I think I did a 5-hour session into San Carlos in a previous episode. You would have saw a few back. We're sailing. There's a really nice little breeze kicking up. I bet you we're going to be going almost the same speed. I'm talking really fast because I'm really excited. Woo! So it's our last full day on the boat before we get in. And we've been having these little happy hours occasionally. I think we've only done this like 5 or 6 times max, and like sharing a beer usually, but today we're gonna have a full beer each. Yum.
Cheers. We're almost there. It feels so good. I feel like you play all these games in your head, how close you are, and like, oh, only so many days to go, only so many days to go. And I feel like for a week it was like, oh, like 3 or 4 days to go. It was 3 or 4 days, and then the next day and the weather would change, and then it's still another 3 or 4 days, and still another 3 or 4 days. And in the past 24 hours it went from another 2 or 3 days to like tomorrow. So that's super exciting, and I don't think either of us really enjoy running the engine, but it was a good use of it to get us to where we are now and in the wind that we're going to have to push us the rest of the way in. So yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. Feels really great.
Bobbing along.
This is a very brilliant way to be finishing this voyage. Last night, just nice steady sailing. Doesn't look like it's going to get crazy or nothing. And then tomorrow morning, it looks like we'll have a robust sail into icy straits, and then probably downwind for the last 10 miles into Elfin Cove. So, aloha. Being it that we're close hauled, it's just on the edge of needing to reef here, so we're going to do it ahead of time before I go down for my sleep times. We're going to take care of that right now. Probably the last time we'll be doing this on this leg of the trip. Okay. Yeah, that's good. And that's how you do it, folks. Shouldn't take more than just a moment. That was actually especially smooth for us. It looked good. It is 3 in the morning, Alaska time, and we are close reaching for icy straits. There's under 50 miles to go. Dawn has started, just kind of transitioned from dusk, and it's beautiful sailing. We're zooming along at over 6 knots, at 6.5 or so. Got lots of jib in, and just super excited to get in today. So with this nice pace, it looks like we might get in maybe a little before noon. We'll get ahead of ourselves. We still got some distance to make, but it feels pretty minuscule at this point. Feels really good. Okay, I can confidently say land ho now. There's huge mountains surrounding Glacier Bay, very visible now. Super sweet. Got about 40 miles till we're coming into Cross Sound. Yeah. This is such a great way to finish this trip. Not raining, good scenery. This is really good.
This is very exciting. Been waiting 3 weeks for this. And for me especially, this is pretty cool because number one, I've never been to Alaska before. So what a way to go to Alaska by sailboat. And then also I've never seen a glacier in person before. So that also is going to be pretty great. I'm excited. Peel off that whole outer layer.
We're coming up to a very distinct tide line where there's obvious glacial fresh water on top. And so we'll see what happens here with our speed and our direction, because right now it's ebbing out of Cross Sound and out of Icy Strait. So we're going to have a little bit of current against us now. But just here's the mixed spot right now. Pretty choppy here. We're definitely getting tossed around in these confused seas with the ebb coming out of Icy Straits. I saw a salmon jump a minute ago. That was pretty cool. I haven't seen one of them for a long time. Jumping out of the water is really sweet. Yeah, super excited right now. Welcome back to tidal waters. Nothing like the ebb current meeting the ocean swell. It looks quite a bit better just up ahead.
The finale of what became a 24-day voyage could not have been more perfect. The moon kept the short northern night glowing, though this far north, night is hardly darkness at all, more of just a soft transition between sunset and sunrise. As the morning light spread across the water, the coast finally appeared beneath a low cloud bank that quickly began to lift. Not long after the sun warmed the decks of Dream of Clyde, the fair weather range, rising 15,000 feet straight from the ocean, pierced through the thinning clouds, giving Brian his first ever in-person view of glacial ice. It was a little bumpy, and the wind grew unstable, and unexpectedly flipped from the northwest to the southeast as we entered Cross Sound, but none of it mattered. It was a perfect day to make landfall. Had we arrived 24 hours later, we would have been met by fog and rain. Instead, the Alaska sun guided us in at the end of an unforgettable journey north. Gradually, the open ocean swell faded behind us. Gusty winds and the beginning of a flood tide carried us swiftly towards Elfin Cove, arriving just before 1 p.m. on July 15th. With no space available on the outer dock, we carefully threaded our way through the narrow, shallow entrance into the calm inner basin. As luck would have it, there was a perfect space waiting for Sea Dream to tie up. I was incredibly fortunate to have Brian aboard for this leg. Though we never sailed together before, we quickly became a cohesive team, facing long, demanding days with steady focus and trust. And just like that, after 2,700 more miles of open Pacific, Sea Dream of Clyde returned to the Inside Passage, waters she'd called home for more than 30 years. The passage north had tested both boat and crew in ways we hadn't fully anticipated. Heavy weather, lightning, shipping traffic, calms, fatigue. That said, it also reminded us why we go to sea in the first place. For the scale of it, the humility, the wildlife, the quiet victories earned mile by mile. Now, with the mountains of southeast Alaska rising all around us and glacial air replacing tropical warmth, the ocean crossing already felt both immense and strangely distant. Another horizon crossed, another chapter written, and the boat, steady as ever, back where it belongs. In the next episode, we meander to Gustavus, where Brian jumps off and Kat returns to the boat as we start our 3-month Inside Passage adventure with a trip to Glacier Bay. Hiking on glaciers, dodging icebergs, and absolutely breathtaking scenery. What a way to say hello to this area. Thanks so much for watching, and bye for now.
Very exciting. Been waiting 3 weeks for this.